So here's a collection of the sharpeners that I've been using for the last couple of years, and I've been finding these pretty good. I've been collecting knives since I was about 4. I say collecting, I don't have any fancy knives or anything, just I have lots of lots of knives. But I've also had plenty of sets of sharpening stones and hones and oil and things that hold the angle correctly, and I'm actually fairly good at, keeping the angle straight and not having any problem with that. But it takes a long time, can be messy with some depending on which method you use. For the most part, if you treat your blade right, you never have to actually sharpen it. You only need to hone it or touch it up with a ceramic rod or something, because that'll save you a lot of trouble right there. But in any effect, I've been finding these very useful the last couple of years. One is just a very simple ceramic rod. I believe this one, it's either called a dog bone or it's made by a company called Dog Bone. I forgot to check on that, my apologies. But either way, it's just a very simple ceramic rod. I don't know what grit this qualifies as in the ceramic world, because I think they have a couple different variations, but it seems pretty fine grade. Usually a couple swipes on the blade with this and it sharpens it up real easy. So that's, like I said, real easy way to just hone your blade real quick. Another thing that I've been finding quite useful, is a Smith's brand sharpener. It just features the carbide, which I don't know if you can see the horrible rust on it. Never gets used. And the ceramic side, which is heavily used. This thing has been excellent. I believe it's got a 22 or a 24 degree cross section for the V of the ceramic rods, which gives you a nice good sharp edge on things pretty quickly. This costs $2.99, so the price is fantastic. Only problem is this thing comes a lot thicker, and you usually end up having a problem not being able to get the ceramic rod all the way to the edge of your blade, and over time you'll end up missing a section. So I just went back with a Dremel tool and just ground this thing, almost to the rods. If you can see that at all, just ground it down big time until it was completely flat on both sides, so that way I can always get my knife, no matter what it is, all the way up to the choil, And again, a couple swipes on this just straight across returns the blade to hair popping condition real quick. So I keep that with me all the time and works out quite well. And again, that was $2.99. That can be found at most sports stores, so that's a great price. And last thing, I don't really use this. I had gotten this to sharpen the serrations on my Spyderco police knife. Again, they work well. This one's a diamond rod. This is coarser than I prefer on my blades for general purpose use. But again, out in the woods, this will work real well. This will actually remove a lot of metal, so you'd want to, I don't know, if you were sharpening your blade a lot, kind of be careful of that. But again, for sharpening serrated knives, works fantastic. That's what it's for. You just get it up in there, just kind of follow it through. So very simple. This one's made by Smith & Wesson. I think I just picked this up at a gun show for $5 or $6. So those are good to have also. These actually work really well for sharpening axes also. So that's one thing to consider if you're out in the woods and doing a lot of axe work. You could probably even, well, I don't know, depending on the tooth design, maybe sharpen a saw with it, but you shouldn't really need to do that. But in any event, these are 3 very cheap, I find very effective solutions for knife sharpening, especially to carry with you. I usually just carry that on my EDC with the rest of my crap that I have, and that way I've always got something to hold my blade on real quick, and I usually keep that in my pack. So anyway, a couple of cheap, really easy options that work, I find, really well. All right, guys, thanks.